Hey, it is Friday night. I see my buddy Will already on my screen, so it must be that time to bring on comic creators that are currently crowdfunding their projects on a little show we like to call Explain Yourself, because we don't know how these comic books came together, and we want the creators to let us know. I love doing an 11 o'clock Friday show because about 9 o'clock I start to fall asleep, and I wonder how in the hell am I going to do it this week? And then I meet new creators I've never met before the show, and see some buddies that I haven't talked to in a while, and I get that second wind. I am ready to go. You ready to go, Will?
You bet.
All right. So before we introduce our panel, we're going to do things just a bit different this week. We that guy Charlie Stickney put out something on Twitter today that I thought was super interesting. He talked about buying a issue of The Tick from Ben Edlin at a comic convention, and that being the first indie comic that he ever bought and read, and kind of realizing, oh, a book doesn't have to have Green Lantern or the X-Men in it to be a comic. And I thought, instead of, we're going to get to everything, but I thought that kind of interesting. I'm going to open it up, so Rob Multari is our buddy who's been on many times. Rob, what's the first pinnacle indie comic? It doesn't have to be your favorite, but the first one that taught you that it doesn't have to be superheroes and tights to be a comic.
The Teens in Green, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. That was my first experience into indie.
First and possibly the most successful in the history of independent comics, right? Okay, all right. So everybody, Rob just chopped the tree down at the trunk, so we're all going to try to put some cool branches out. So we'll go to a first timer, Carissa. What was the book that you first? You know the question.
I guess it was independent. The Ferret in Malibu was the first one that I remember, because I had gone from Ghost Rider, and then Malibu came out, and I figured I would get on the ground floor, but I guess it didn't last. So I still have them though. So there's that.
It's also the ones that you still have, and you're like, no one else has ever heard of this. All right.
Yeah. And I just have to say real quick that you're the name of this show just makes me feel like I'm about to get scolded by my mother when it's like, explain yourself.
We always. The tone is different depending on how people do. So we're going to find out together whether we have to get scoldy. Will's the disciplinarian, so Oh, Blake. So what was the first one that you gravitated to?
So when I was a kid, my parents used to fight a lot, and my dad would take me to comic books. We had a comic book shop down the street for a short time, and it didn't last, unfortunately, but he used to take me to comic book shops when they fought, as a cool dad move, but it was also very strategic. And we were at a comic book shop one time, and I was new to it, and my dad didn't really read comics, so it's not like he knew what was going on. So I randomly, sick little kid me, I see Violator issue 3. I haven't read issue 1 or 2, but Violator issue 3, I don't know if you guys remember this cover, it was Alan Moore and it was Greg Capullo, and little kid me did not realize the weight of those creatives, right? Even then.
Yeah.
But this is peak 90s, and it's got Violator on the cover, this creepy monster, and there's intestines strung out in this alleyway, and there's blood spatter everywhere. There's a head in a garbage can. There's all this wild stuff on this cover, right? And so I was like, ooh, I want this one. And so my dad bought it for me, and I carried this thing around in my backpack till it was falling apart. I would show my friends, everybody, it was all bloody and crazy, and we were like, oh, this started to know what Spawn was and get interested in it. And unfortunately, this is how my father found out about the comics code. Because when we went back to the comic book shop and I wanted these more adult oriented indie books, I remember the shop owner telling my dad, he's like, these aren't really kid comics, right? My dad's like, all comics are kid comics. What are you saying to me, you weirdo? And he's like, no, there's this code for kids on the covers. And then so my dad I was trying to get like an Alien, like because my dad let me watch
Right.
Aliens when I was younger, and I was trying to get this like Alien comic from Dark Horse, and I had all this adult stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be bloody and great. My dad was like, you got to put all that up, man. No, we're not doing. And I was just like. I was like, oh man. So yeah, but I had that Spawn issue 3 was a special, which is kind of funny too, because I'm not a huge Spawn fan. Like I like the animated show, the movies are kind of fun, but like I've never really gotten into the comics. But oddly enough, like that Violator issue 3 was like I carried it with me like a, like a lucky rabbit's foot for a long time. So
Before we go forward, did you start like narking on your parents to get them to fight?
I was thinking that the whole time. Like, there's no way that you could more.
He used my cover too. He's like, "Look, Mom, look what Dad got me."
Yeah, right.
I remember you telling Dad to take the garbage out, and it's still sitting there. What's that all about? And you're walking around. All right, Evan. What was the one that grabbed your attention?
Yeah, unlike Blake, I didn't learn about puberty from comic books. I had to do that a different way. No, I grew up in northern Wisconsin, so we didn't have access to any comic books at all when I was younger. I didn't get into comics until I was in college, later in college, kind of late to the game. And the first book I read, which is still one of my favorites to this day, is Fear Agent, which is it started at Image and went over to Dark Horse. So I love that book, and that was the first comic book I ever read. Never got into any Marvel or DC stuff. I'm just a weird indie guy, I guess.
No, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that you came in from the that way. So that's kind of a cool way to do it. Now, in the chat, Lori says the Watchmen, which I wouldn't have thought of, but absolutely, those characters were brand new. They came, they invented them. It has the DC logo, so I wouldn't have thought of it. But that is absolutely an independent comic in my mind. So, good answer. No whammies. Yeah. What about for you, Will?
I was thinking about that. Probably a friend of mine had been reading Cerebus for a long time, so I started picking up some of the early phone books. And early Cerebus is just insane. I mean, the comedy, it's great. Now,
late Cerebus maybe took a turn.
It took a weird turn, a very weird, misogynistic, crazy religious turn, but whatever. Early Cerebus I think was the first kind of indie, and then it was over into Dark Horse, the Legend imprint, and then by that time Image was coming out, in the early 90s, and there was so much great indie stuff out there. I never really got into the Turtles though, Rob. I don't know why. I guess it just hit me at the wrong time. I don't know.
They force fed me that. Like that was right when I was growing up, was when like the Turtles were like coming out on like in the cartoons, and then
what's the cartoons?
Yeah, I was all like, it all like came at the same time, and I just was like, I think I was in first grade when the movie came out. So
oh my God.
I just remember being like, this is amazing.
You know what? You going to that movie in first grade is why I didn't get weapons in the sequel. It's all you stupid little kids that came in and your parents started crying, and then they had to dumb it down for you.
I was the kid taking sticks and whacking everybody, so yeah, maybe I was a kid.
I think that's exactly what I'm saying.
I wasn't allowed to watch Bill and Ted after a while either, because like my mom was like, you just talk like an idiot after you watch that.
But I'm learning history, Mom.
Let's not even talk about when I got into Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. So I don't remember which was first for me, but I know that the same people got me onto both. New England Comics got me onto The Tick and Miracle Man. Now, Miracle Man came because, I needed, I was trying to fill in my X-Men collection. So, they had 217 and 213. So I, bought those or whatever, mail order. And I get the box. I open it up and there's my 2 or 3 X-Men that I wanted. And I was super excited. And there's just this Miracle Man #2 on top. And they just sent a free comic book, which I thought was the nicest thing in the world. What I didn't know is they were peddling a pill to me for free, because when I read Miracle Man #2, which, he's come up already for Violator, some guy named Alan Moore wrote, and I was just like, what is this? I need more. And I just became a Miracle Man fan from then on. And New England Comics, of course, famously did the Tick. So in their advertisement, they had, the Tick real big, and they really inflated the value. The Tick was going every month. The Tick was going up by $5 or $10. So, little greedy 13-year-old Kevin was like, "I'm going to invest in this gold mine," and I did, and it happened to be the funniest book I'd ever read. So my two are the Tick and Miracle Man. So awesome, thank you. I just thought it was something a little different and fun to talk about. But what we usually do is a little 30-second pitch for each project, in case someone's just watching the first couple minutes, and then we'll go into the deep dives of all of the projects. I'm gonna give co-host the first shot. Will, you launched this week. How would you get somebody's attention on Crossover Division?
Well, maybe wave a little bit. I don't know.
Time's up.
The pitch. Oops, I'm done. When our stories become real and threaten to fracture reality beyond repair, only an English professor and a research librarian have the smarts to save us all.
Nice. I'm just going to go across the screen, Rob.
Right on. So, Nightwolf is a story about a young man who finds out that he's born a werewolf, gets thrown into a supernatural war against demons, witches, vampires, other werewolves. Rodney Marcelli, basically, he's an 18-year-old who has a football scholarship, full ride, and popularity, pretty girlfriend until his 18th birthday, when everything gets ripped away from him. He has to learn how to deal with being a werewolf.
Nice. Carissa, how about Worthy Chaos?
It's Romeo and Juliet in Hell, and that's the shortest pitch I can give. But
so we could just do like 28 seconds of just dead air if you want.
Yeah.
Let's see, Angel descendant Seraphina, and Draven is a demon descendant, and they are chased by their demon and angel father, who is after an angelic weapon that she was created out of, and their main goal is to destroy her, take the weapon, and change the balance of heaven and hell to conquer the other one. So it's a survival horror story. What, Lori? What do you want from me? Lori makes fun of all my pitches, but the simplest way is it's Buffy meets Supernatural in Silent Hill and the Resident Evil world with Evil Dead running around.
Nice. Evan, we'll let you take care of. Are we pronouncing this Tox or Toxx?
Tox, correct.
Tox. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so Tox is a post-apocalyptic story that takes place in a future world where humanity destroyed the ozone layer and radiation's just been blasting the planet for 30 years. Humanity is sterile. Evolution has fast-tracked, changing the landscape and the creatures in the earth. And there's one woman named Claire who is a scavenger for the local populations, and she miraculously finds herself pregnant in a world where humanity should not be able to do so. So the story is full of action and a lot of deep thinking to kind of explore the story of humanity and what it's like to not only be human in a world that humanity forgot, but what it's like to bring a child into this situation and how that plays into the whole scenario.
That's awesome. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive on Tart, but I am still running my campaign for Tart 15. So I'm going to do the 30-second pitch just in case somebody popped in and didn't know it's out there. Tart is a time-traveling demon hunter who wakes up at the beginning of each adventure without any idea where in the world she is or when in time she is. But she knows that there's a demon causing trouble, and it's up to her to stop it. And Tart 15, that demon is a serial killer that she's chasing down the eastern seaboard of the United States and coming up short each and every time he or she kills. And one of the sons of the ruler of hell offers a deal to help her find it. She has to decide if she's going to work with a devil to stop a demon. All right, that's it for me. We're going to now get into a deep dive.
Time out real quick, though, and congratulations on 15 freaking issues on crowdfunding.
Yes.
On a crowdfunding platform, man. Like, that's such a huge achievement. 15 issues, 2 hardcovers, a bunch of pens, like tons of variants. I'm proud of you, man. It's hard work. Rob, you too. I mean, you're at what, 9
7.
after this? Well, 7.
Well,
But
how
then
do you
there's the
count how
two
many
spin-offs, right?
Snowpaws?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
spin-off is 2 of her. So yeah, I guess 9
Yeah.
comics. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, just like I just that's just awesome. And Will, congrats on your first collected edition, bud. Like that's
Thanks. Yep.
super stoked. Evan and Chris, your stuff looks cool too. I'm not Chris. I'm not as
Fine.
familiar.
I've only been doing this for 6 months, but I'm on issue 4.
Wow.
Rookie of the year. in
That's
your
insane.
first
Yes.
year.
Please slow down.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing and making us look terrible.
Sorry.
Five's
Five's already halfway done and ready for June 20th. So I don't know what to tell you. You gotta step it up. I can't
Well,
help. I
You don't have to do one a month on Kickstarter. You can
Well-
spread it out. That's kind of the idea.
Well, I know.
That's too
I
easy.
know that I want you to tell me about this. So if you could share your screen, and let's go through Worthy Chaos, because if you can do
Oh, me?
4 issues in 6 months, we're going to get you first because you're obviously ready to go.
Sure. We'll figure this out. Hold on.
Awesome. No, that is absolutely stunning and amazing, and
Did it work?
you should be very proud of yourself for doing that much so quickly. That's great.
My bank account says otherwise, but
It's yeah.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to
You
the
know,
club.
maybe that end thing that we talk about will be all of our very.
She's just like, I'm paying the artist. I don't care if it funds it now. Let's go. Come on.
yeah, honestly, I'm releasing these for me, and I just need everyone else to help me pay for it. So I just want to see these done. Yeah, I don't know if I was born ready. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but okay. So this is my screen. I don't need to play the video, but there's a video, and it gives you an update of 1 through 3, and the music on the background is the music from the song that we had created and written and performed for our characters. So the lyrics are based on them, and it is an add-on for $5. It comes with the instrumental version and the vocals. The lyrics are in the Kickstarter on the bottom of the page. All right, I'm going to try not to go scroll too fast and give everyone nausea, but no promises. So this is our variant cover. It's from DC artist Ken Hunt, who was an inker and penciler on Batman and Harley Quinn and all those cool things. It is colored by the current colorist for Lady Death Universe, CC De La Cruz. And they're both absolutely phenomenal. And they're also going to do my graphic novel cover that's coming out in October. That's like 236 pages. So this is another variant by Fabio and colored by Fernando. It's a bar fight because the issue starts in a bar fight, and this is almost pretty much what it looks like.
So we've got Romeo and Juliet in hell. I have not run across this before, so I don't want you to give spoilers you don't want to give, but
there's no spoilers that won't destroy anything. This has got 40 issues, so I can tell you whatever you want to know.
So how does Romeo and or Juliet get into hell? How are your characters brought together?
So she's an angel descendant and he's a demon descendant, but originally what happened was their fathers used to clash. Her father was Remnal, the judgment of souls, and he carries this little weapon of the souls from earth to heaven, and then his father used to go after it because he's a chaos demon and he used to feed on them. So when her father created her from the weapon, the demon kept trying to get it out of her and kept killing her, and she just kept reincarnating. So he created Draven to go after her, and instead Draven fell in love with her, and then they both fought their fathers. There is another reason that the father wants it besides the balance of heaven and hell, but that's a spoiler I won't give away because Lori would kill me. But so pretty much through shut up, Lori. Through every life they get reincarnated with no memories of their last, which we will go over in the prequel, which we started. But anyway, in this life, they don't even know that their fathers are after them. And so their fathers are using them as pawns and controlling things around them. His father controls the Hellhounds, and her father controls Anubis that goes after both of them. As for Hell, Draven was after the last life. Something happened by their guardian angel that screwed them over, and he went to hell and she went to heaven, and they got reincarnated because the weapon won't work without them together, which they learned the hard way.
Okay.
So they need to be together to activate it, and that's the main goal now. So it's a survival horror. You know, they try to keep each other alive, and we torture our poor characters, so they literally go through hell, and they will literally go to hell. So there's a lot going on in the issue 1. In book 1, pretty much they're in a town that's merged with hell. So hellhounds come out. There's ghosts. There's zombies. There's Anubis. Skeletons coming out of the wall. There's a zombie merman, and there's some other fun things. And skeleton birds, which I have the plushies here. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. It's chaotic, and it's in the name, so no one can yell at me.
So are you doing a lot of actual biblical research for this, or is it more just your own hell that you're kind of making your own rules for?
All the angels and demons are from mythology, and their jobs and powers are from there, but their personalities are something we created.
Gotcha.
Like their fathers in mythology never came close to each other. It just worked out so perfectly that the chaos demon is immune to lightning, and her father's only powers are a sword and lightning. So it worked out kind of cool. And he's a chaos demon that feeds on souls that go to the judgment bridge, which again, they have nothing to do with each other, but we kind of created them to do that. So, but yeah. So this cover here is an homage to Supernatural. This is from a poster that they had that Dean and Sam were in. The car baby is there with Dean Winchester's birthday on the license plate. So every single issue that we have has Easter eggs to it from either a horror show, a horror movie, an urban legend, or a horror game. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2, you probably won't get a good one. So here's our warning. You know, it's filled with lots of gore and horror and all that fun stuff. These are some of the internal pages. This is the bar fight. My artist, Jonas DaCosta, this is his first job, and he did an amazing job. I like, the blurry in the background and all that fun stuff.
Has he been doing all the issues, or is issue 4 his first?
He did all the issues that are currently together. He started on issue 2. My first artist, it didn't work out. So he did issue 2, issue 3. I was upset that he was so good. I made him do issue 1, and then now he's on issue 4.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a psychotic. I don't know what to tell you, but
I wouldn't give his name out anymore if he's done 4 issues in 6 months. All of us other writers are writing his name down, so I would just put artist X is on this from now on.
I already told him he's not allowed to leave. We have 80 issues written, and he's not allowed to leave till they're done. So he will be chained in the basement if need be.
Wow.
You are psychotic, by the way.
You know what's awesome? Like you're going to see like from the progression from all the issues that he's done all the way through the end, and how he improves as he like basically grows up with your series.
Yeah, and I've been I posted some of these, and I was asked by 2 people, is this the same artist? And yeah, he's getting amazing. You can tell just by the progression of the covers how he went from the shading changed, and I mean he does everything. He does the pencil, he does the ink, the coloring, the lettering. He does it all. And we are learning and trying not to kill each other as we go.
Yeah.
So this is outside the bar. There's the car. It's gorgeous. It looks like a real car. But yeah, he drew it. So
carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah. Yeah, I told everyone that he steals baby from the bar. So so this is the fight outside the bar. There's like 3 fights in this. And that's Serafina kicking ass. So this is their fathers in the top panel, hers and his, and this is Anubis playing fetch with a hellhound. There is a reason for it, but it's there's a lot going on with his hellhound. He was the leader of the pack. The father took over, beat him up, hence the broken horn, and he's got scars. So he doesn't listen to Asmund, but the other hellhounds do. So he's kind of betrayed on his own. So he kind of latched on to Anubis, who has no idea what the hell's going on. So I don't have to play this, but this is Lucifer from Supernatural talking about the comic and how he says it's a good comic. So there's that. These are rewards. We have way too many stickers, but I figure you can't have too many. So there's the angelic weapon. There's the fighting Anubis. 3-inch the mirror sticker. Cute Anubis, which is thanks to Rob because his artist is amazing and he shared her and he shares his artist. But anyway, so
for one image, he's not a saint.
Yeah.
All of my artists do everything for everybody too,
Yeah.
so I can't say. They just do the sequentials for me though.
He's nice. He's not a saint.
Yeah. So this is the a button, but this is the art from Ian Chase Nichols, who worked on the Tick and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He has also did the variant cover for issue 2, and he's doing a variant cover for me for issue 6 that he's already working on. It is a wraparound cover of the swarming clotters, which is our vampires, and I can't wait to see that.
I love the name Swarming Clotters.
Yeah, clotters. Our vampires are they're subspecies of vampires. Their heart only beats every 6 hours, so they have clotted blood, which gives them strength. And if you cut them, it comes out really disgusting. And you can only kill them by chopping off their head or burning them. But the fun part is, if they taste your blood, they can track anyone in the family can track you anywhere you go, like a homing beacon. And if you kill one of them, then their main goal is to track you down and get revenge on them. So there's that fun stuff. So these are some rewards. There's trading cards. There's prints. There are metal prints. It's in the mail, so I will take a video when it comes. But we have this in metal on silver aluminum, and then we have 2 bookmarks. One is white metal with black ink, and then the other one is copper, aluminum, and colored. And then this is the wood print, which there is a cool video which I can show you.
Where'd it go?
Okay, so we also do this as a podcast, so we can't kind of show a 20-second video without audio, or else the poor people doing dishes are like, "What the hell's going on?"
Well, there's the torture for all you watching and not.
So go to the page and watch all of her videos.
Yeah, see, now you gotta know. The suspense will kill you all. It's a 3D Anubis bust. There's 6 inches, and there's only 6 left, and they won't be made again. Nice. Then there's the first one's the plastic kind of 3D print. This is the resin. It's smaller, but it's way more detailed, and you can paint them. They're pre-primed to be painted. I will be painting some, I think. These are our pillows. This is Fighting Anubis. This is Tall Anubis. These are our main characters. This is Cute Anubis because he's the best. And then there's the plushie. I have my support Anubis with me at all times.
Can I ask a question real quick, because I just ran onto it, and this is issue 4. Do you have catch-up tiers either digitally or physically where people can read every one?
I have both. I have the add-ons that have all the PDFs as add-ons. I have all the back issues, including the variants, and I have the current variants as add-ons. So if there's a certain tier you want, then you just can add on the covers that you want.
Great.
And so, yes, they are that. And we also have like a catch-up tier where you can get all 4 for $15. And the printed is I think $40 for that, and it comes with goodies. Oh, this is so this one is left. There's a cute Anubis statue. He's about 8 inches. He made from a lightweight clay, very detailed, handmade. There's one left, and I won't play the video.
I just think it's neat that you made him from clay atoms. I mean, I've never heard of something like that. That's
why
$10,000
in the
So this is my characters. It'll never be made again because my artist wanted to kill me because he doesn't do people. And I begged him. So it is a pound of clay of my characters.
Wow.
And these are sold out. But this is the tall Anubis that was also made from the same person who is much happier to do Anubis than people.
Right,
Here's the story. That's a lot of reading. This is the cover for 2, which is available as an add-on.
No, that's great. Well, I really appreciate it. We're gonna take the screen off if you can. We want to make sure that we get to everybody before midnight, and we've got 3 other projects. But that's awesome. I can't wait to check out your catch-up tiers and see about it.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, we did reach through the 3rd stretch goal. So we're $191 or $119 away from the 4th stretch goal. So right now for the $5, you will get the 16 PDFs of the number 1 issues, including Rob's number 1, which is worth it right there. Yes. And you also get the prequel PDF that we have, and that for everyone will get that. And then there's the glossy bookmarks and trading card is next. So
awesome. Well, the way we kind of do this is the more we know you, the longer you have to wait. So sorry, Rob. We're going to talk to Evan because I gotta learn. Yeah, we got to learn about this Tox comic. Evan, is it possible for you to share the page, or do you want me to pull it up on my end?
Oh, I can do it. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely. While you're pulling it up, Blake, how did you come across Tox comic? Because you're the one that kind of messaged me and said, you've got to see this comic. So how did you get in touch with the creative team, Blake?
So I started this Patreon tier that one of the biggest grifters online called me the biggest grifter online the other day, because it was for basically like for $50 a month. What I would do, like, I'll help you write press releases. I'll help you. It sounds expensive, but it's cheap from what other PR junkets charge. Which I'm doing that because I'm learning too. But anyways, I started.
Did you tell him it takes one to know one?
Yeah. So I started this Patreon tier, and we had a mutual, like, Eric Palicki is working with Evan on this, and like Eric's been on my show a couple times before, and like Eric and I talk and stuff, and Evan kind of crossed my paths, and he was like, hey man, Evan's looking for like a personal publicist kind of deal, and he sent me some really cool looking comics, and they have this Tox campaign live, and I'm looking at they sent me the first couple issues, and I read it, and I was just like, and initially I was like, why the hell do you need me to help you sell this? Because it's like, it sells itself. It's very good. The art is gorgeous. Like, Eric's got good name recognition. His name on the title's helping, and but yeah, it just kind of serendipitously, all this stuff happened. I've been unemployed for a couple months, and all these things kind of started happening right about the time where my bank account is weeping, just like, and simultaneously like turning to dust and weeping, and it's the long drawn out dramatic death. And but I ended up like finding a couple clients, and like, everybody's still, everybody's like cool with me, not, like, what's your pricing, Blake? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, it kind of, I don't really know yet, like, yeah, I'll be your whore, baby. But like, we like, I don't know what to charge yet, like, what's my body worth? I don't, but
just remember, no kissing, Blake. No kissing.
Yeah. No kissing, no hand holding, maybe cuddling, but
not on the mouth.
But yeah, we just kind of all crossed paths, and it ended up being a really great project. And I mean, your show is always going to be like what comes to mind first when it comes to Kickstarters. 'Cause that's why I started doing what I do, is because I loved watching your guys' show. I loved how much money y'all made me spend every week, and just like, but just all the new creatives and books, and I learned, and like connections I made and interviews I've done just from watching you guys, like is a substantial amount of people I've met. And so I always like when I think of Kickstarter, I think of Explain Yourself. And so yeah, I was just like, I gotta, like, I felt like he'd be a good fit. I felt like you guys would dig the comic. You know, like he had issues for you to read, like ready to go, and so like I just thought it'd be a good fit. And you know, like I had to hustle for him because I was like, I gotta show I'm worth it, right? So I'm like, hey man, like I got you a good review. I got you on my show, got you on another person's show, like boom, 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 like, you know, like I'm looking good. I'm looking like a publicist who knows his shit, right? And the only bad thing about all this is and like Carissa knows, and Rob knows, because Rob doesn't know. I just haven't responded to his message that he sent me yet because I'm a mess.
I was gonna say, I was like, now that I got you on.
But I'm having to, like, I also just, and this was made public, like I'm the official publicist at Invader Comics now too, and like which cool. Is all, it's so, I guess it's so cool to say, and like I don't get tired of saying it at all either, and but I'm having to I've had to turn down some interview requests, and I'm everything's so new now. I'm having to see what I can do, what Blake's Buzz I can still do, and what Blake's Buzz PR, because I want more clients, but I definitely don't. I have too much Catholic guilt. So like if people come on and they're paying me and I'm not giving them the attention they deserve so that I can write like a review for Image, or like have a, you know, do like all these live shows and stuff. I want to make sure everybody gets the right amount of time. I want to make sure that I'm available for my clients. I don't really care if I'm available for myself, right? Like I'm in dream chasing mode right now, right? So I don't need to sleep. I just need like one meal a day and a nap, right? And then we're good to go. But yeah, I'm so glad I came across Evan, because I think he's on to something. He's got a couple other really cool series in the works. He's got a really great eye for art.
I got his books and they were really good. Well,
yeah,
it's the flip book, if you will.
Yeah, he's just got a good eye. He's got a good eye for storytelling, and he's making good products.
What really like blew my mind reading it, Evan, is how did the story come about? Because when that jumped off the Kickstarter page of the real life inspiration of this comic.
Well, wait, I'm enjoying everyone just talking about me. You guys can keep going.
No. This is not called Blake Explains You. Young man.
We could do a spinoff though. I'm kind of into that.
Blake Explains You.
You have to explain yourself.
I have a lot of opinions on marketing and PR and stuff too for indie comics, because everything's expensive, but people are always so afraid to spend money on stuff too, and there's always people building amazing communities for free that deserve to find ways to monetize, but that's a separate conversation. Yeah, Tox is I mentioned post-apocalyptic story, inspired by an experience I had with my wife. We brought our son into the world. Was born in the middle of COVID when it was hardcore lockdown, no family members in the hospital, PPE on all the doctors and nurses, so you couldn't even see their faces. So it felt like a very, apocalyptic type experience. And me and my wife questioned if this was even the right move because of the state of the world. And it just got my brain thinking, what would a situation, be like where you're bringing a kid into the world, where you're going through this bevy of emotional shit anyway. But let's say it's an actual apocalypse. And what additional strains is that going to put on it? And what opportunities for interesting storytelling would be there? So that's the premise. Tox is a story about a woman, Claire here, who becomes pregnant in a world where humanity has been sterilized for 30 years, and she's the first and only known pregnancy in the world. And having a child was never a thing that was ever on her radar, because she was born right when the apocalypse occurred. So sex has become a bartering tool. There's no romance or love because people are constantly dying in this world, and there's no point to even try to do something like that. So the story attempts.
There's always a point.
Well, I can talk more about the intricacies of this if we're interested. But it creates a situation where it's hard to love somebody when you know they're going to be dead, and you've done that a couple times, and then
true.
But anyway, so this story is on Kickstarter now. We're 95% funded. This is
so
for
close.
2 issues. Yeah, it's the first 2 issues. This is also coming to the direct market in July from Blood Moon. So this is something I wanted to be able to kickstart this, for this audience, but then also bring it to the market.
So
to
would these
local
be
comic shops.
Kickstarter exclusive covers, or how is that
Oh yeah,
working?
yep. I can get to that here. I do indeed. So I'll breeze through this. There's a lot to check out here, but this is a 2-issue launch, so 2 full issues are included here. And there's a ton of different covers. I'll just scroll down here.
So real quick, how did you guys decide to do 2 issues instead of 1?
A lot of reasons. One of which being that I've done so many Kickstarters now. I have another business that does tabletop gaming stuff, and I have like 12 or 13 finished issues I need to kickstart right now, and I can't do them one at a time. It's just impossible.
Got it.
So as a consumer, I personally like to have more to read when I get a reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a creator, I want to keep my sanity intact, and I got that many issues to do. I'd rather do them in chunks just to make it more appealing, make my life easier.
And your backers are getting a more efficient shipping price.
Yep, there's benefits for the printing side of it. There's benefits for shipping. There's benefits for fulfilling at one time. And just to give credit where credit's due, I also stole the strategy from Chris over on the Saturn Effect. Chris Moses.
Moses, yeah. Mm-hmm. He was on last week, so he's kicking ass and taking Kickstarter names.
Yeah. So 2 issues. So there's a bunch of different covers by some awesome artists here. There is a Kickstarter exclusive cover for number 1 and number 2, both by the same artist, Adrian Bonilla, who's awesome. And each issue also has a direct market exclusive. This number 1 is one I'm super excited about. It's a Skylar Patridge cover. So this is direct market only.
Their work's so gorgeous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I got another direct market only one for number 2. So trying to kind of entice the crowd to be interested in buying it from their shop if they also back in Kickstarter, but we'll see if that strategy works or not.
Yeah, no, that's interesting because it's very difficult to juggle the 2 things, but it's so could I add that on to my Kickstarter, or is it basically like you telling me pre-order this because this exists?
Yes, this is me just kind of teasing it, saying, yo, this is going to be in your comic shop. You can buy it there. You'll only see this cover there.
Yeah.
And also kind of doing, a benefit to the publisher who's obviously letting me do the Kickstarter as well to try to lead into some direct market sales as well.
Can I ask? I want to talk about the entire creative team, but you're co-writing this with Eric. How did that team up happen, and how do you guys just one plot and one kind of break it down? How did you meet on this, and how do you work together?
Absolutely. So I connected first with James Emmett, who's the editor. He's now at Mad Cave, but when I first connected with him, he was doing a lot of freelance. So James connected me to Eric, and me and Eric hit it off really well. I always loved Eric's work. He's obviously a pretty prolific writer with some awesome series under his belt. Mm-hmm. And the role I like the best is kind of a story ideation, art direction. I do lettering and graphic design and putting everything together. So Eric did the vast majority of the bulk of the scripting. And then the 3 of us together did the outlining based on my story idea. And then I did the kind of the final phase of editing while I put letters to page as well. Mm-hmm. So I'll give Eric 100% credit, like the dialogue, page to page flow, pacing, all that stuff is Eric's mastery coming through here.
That's awesome. What is the art team?
Yeah, so Ben Worrell did the inks and pencils. Really awesome artist. He's done a ton of indie stuff, including his own book that he's kickstarting right now too, which is a really awesome, mature focused adventure story. But he's had an amazing time doing all these different mutants and stuff for us. And Marty Gasparoni is the colorist with a couple published one shots, but a whole bunch of indie work as well. And then myself on lettering.
I'd like to shout out that the lettering's really good too. Like it's like you could almost. You probably wouldn't.
Kiss ass.
Yeah.
The project manager's the letterer, and all of a sudden the lettering's great.
So, I would absolutely say this to anybody who is inclined to be interested in it. If you're writing a book and then you do the lettering, it takes the creative process entirely to the end. I tweak a lot when I'm doing the lettering, like just changing lines, doing stuff. If I was working with a separate letterer, sending these back and forth, it would be insanity. Because I'm doing sometimes 7, 8, 9 iterations of editing just to get things pixel perfect the way I like them. So I absolutely love doing the lettering as part of the final step here.
It does actually look good. I'm joking, but yeah.
I didn't think you were joking. I'm proud of it. So yeah, these are some interiors. So that's about it. You can check out the Kickstarter and learn about it. There's digital rewards. There's back catalog stuff from my previous issues, which is a cool sci-fi trade of 5 issues collected, and then another double issue of a mixology noir book, which is a horror story. You can grab combinations of covers on here, physical or digital. You can get big bundles of stuff. Whatever your heart desires is available for you.
I think I read, is this a 5-issue mini?
5-issue miniseries, yep.
And if everything goes well and you kill it on Kickstarter direct market, is there a possibility of more stories within this world, or is this kind of like you have a story to tell and you're going to be done with issue 5?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Would love to do more. I actually have another side story that I've been creating with the intent for the next Kickstarter to release it in a webcomic form. So it'll be released as an advertising tool, but also collected as a small print volume to go with the next story. And I'd love to continue this actual made storyline if it does well in the direct market and Kickstarter goes well.
Nice. All right. Well, beautiful. If you could pull it back, I think we've made meow. It looks. Gosh. I don't know if it's a full moon, but I see a bright moon in the sky. I think
that's the 5th.
Yeah. So Rob, you know that we know you pretty well, but we're making Will wait till the very end to talk crossover. So you're not the one that's being held out the longest. So if you could share Nightwolf, let's give that page a look.
Yes, sir. All right. Everybody see my screen?
I will share it.
I just want to call out, Rob, last time I was on this show with you, I mean, I had a little bit of whiskey, but I think you convinced me to buy 2 plushies, so I'm interested to see what...
I can't wait for a plushie.
Yeah, they'll be in June, by the way. So I will just start driving here, I guess. Again, Nightwolf is a story about a young man who finds out that he's born a werewolf, gets thrown into a supernatural war. We're up to issue 7 of a 12-issue story arc, so we're entering the second half of this. And so all the setup is kind of done. Now we're starting to roll that ball downhill and pick up speed and action galore. So here you can see the covers by Carlos Herrera, who is the illustrator of the book. Nice little scrolly gift, since this page is so long that I had to save space somehow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to remind me now, this is just so Blake could, compliment you. You letter this, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so Blake, make sure you pretend you like his lettering, okay?
Okay, this is a joke. Well, this part's not a joke, but everybody knows John Westhoff with Part Time Comics.
Yeah.
He was on my show before, and I told him that I really liked his lettering, and we were live, and he got emotional, and he was like, that's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. And he was like, he could not believe it. And I was like, he started as a letterer. Like, that's where his comic journey kind of began. And so I was,
but people don't usually say much about the lettering.
Yeah, exactly. And I try really hard, like in every review I write, when I cover teams, like I try and include everybody, and then now I get yelled at for not including the editors. So now I have to remember to include the editors. It's just like, man, there's only so much room we have on the screen and for promo, but I do like lettering is so important. And I mean, especially in Kickstarter, Kevin and Will have talked about this numerous times, how a lot of new Kickstarter creatives will to cut corners and save costs. Like lettering is sometimes one of the first things to go, and we'll be like, well, maybe we can do it ourselves, or let's get the cheapest person we can find to do it. And it can really hurt a book. And and so like I will die on this hill of like letters are very, very important, and I do appreciate it. And Rob, you're a damn good letterer too, man.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna come out and say it.
if you're like Evan or Robin, you can do it yourself. Or Carissa said her artist is lettering that book. Like, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you haven't really studied and you haven't really worked on the craft, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, hire a letterer. But if you can do it yourself, like, I think, Rob, you've even said the same thing, as you're kind of rewriting at the last stage of the pages, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, that's why I've continued to write and letter Nightwolf, because the script for the 12 issues have been done since 2013. So, like, when I'm finally going back in and lettering it, like, there's a big difference from like my writing experience back then to now. So like 2013 Rob put something that 2023 Rob's like, oh my God, why'd I do that? But like,
there have been a lot of growth on you as a human, but there's been a lot of being told that some of that stuff don't work no more.
Yeah, right. With Snowpaw, since I'm writing her story on the fly, and it's like pretty much at that point it's as done as it's gonna be, I did, to save time, I did hire Dave Lentz to do the lettering, which I need to make sure I give him credit, because every time I back a campaign and say, hey, my friend so and so did this, and if he's on the book and I didn't mention him, he'll remind me. So Dave does Snowpaw for me, which at that point it's like, all right, well, the dialogue's as good as it's gonna get to that point. But yes, I make sure with Nightwolf, and plus there's this little thing that happens with me and Carlos. English isn't his first language, and sometimes like the happy mistakes from the translations actually turn out better than what I like.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I like that. Let's keep this. Or or there's things where I'm like either too tired to catch it, and like there's something that is different that I didn't catch, and I'm like, and I go to letter, like there's like an extra panel, or there's like one less panel. I'm like, shit, I have a lot of dialogue I have to put in this. Let's cut this. Right. So yeah, I mean, it ends up being a kind of like a give and take with the lettering for Nightwolf, and then Dave would like me to kind of remind Mog, though, for when we do Snowpaw, to leave him a little more room.
I feel like he's just lying to you about this language barrier, and he's just using it as an excuse to. His art.
No hablo inglés.
I can't change this.
I don't want to draw that. Too many panels. No, Carlos.
It was actually called Night Vampire, and it was 3 issues in. Rob just quit.
He wasn't actually a werewolf. He was a were-sloth. But yeah, so as you can see, I decided to condense my preview pages down to these GIFs to save room, because I mean,
it's smart.
You scroll for days doing this.
and it gives you something so cool to look at too. It's mesmerizing.
Well, if I know your Kickstarters, Rob, it's 98% pledge options.
Right? Yeah.
This is true. Yeah. It's even more than the last time. So.
we're gonna stop Rob before he gets to the pledge options, and we're gonna ask him his favorite 2 tiers, because we do need to get to Will's before all of our campaigns close.
I do want to mention though that we just put up the full moon bonus gift, which I always do every campaign. I find out when the full moon is, and then so anybody who backs before the night of the full moon will get this 7 or 5x7 print.
Oh, that's cool.
Version.
That's
so that's
really
free
cool
for everybody, one way or the other, whether it's digital or physical.
Have you ever changed your launch date because of that, or is it?
Yes, I have actually. Yeah. That's one of the things that I look for, is whether it's a holiday like Halloween, or last year Easter, and the full moon was the same night. So it was like an Easter full moon gift.
Was it an egg?
It was that bright colored Chris Williams cover that was look kind of like the sun was coming up behind him and Snowpaw while they were sparring. It kind of looked very like Eastery coloring, so like
Nice.
that's the one I chose.
Cool.
And then of course we have like the things we're unlocking as we go. We just unlocked the first stretch goal, which is acrylic standees. So we have one of Nightwolf, Snowpaw, and the Twin Witches. So you can get all that. But let's, of course, the Wolf Pack. I gotta give the shout out to my Wolf Pack for coming.
I've always loved how you put that on your campaign page too. Like just like not just like reviewer quotes and pull quotes, but like the people that post pictures and like you at I don't know. Like I like this. You've always done it. I always got a kick out of it. Like I love how tight you are with your wolf pack.
Thank you. Yeah, I like encourage them to like give me feedback, email me. Like I try to talk to them. I even have some who like I talk to regularly now. Like it's crazy like how this has grown to be where it is today. But yeah, so we got the tiers. If you want to get the digital, if you've been around for a while and they have all 6 issues of the issue, you can get either the digital for $5 or you can get the physical and the digital for $15. And then of course we have the variant covers that go up because of the limited runs, and then we have you get all of Nightwolf. So the volume 1 collects the first 4 issues. And then we have 5, 6, and 7. And again, another gorgeous Chris Williams cover.
Yes. This show recommends the hardcover, not the soft cover.
I was about to ask if he still had those.
You'll get the 4-page, story written by Tyler James.
It's in Kevin Joseph.
Oh yeah. Well, that's there too. But Tyler James. And,
what's
Madeline Holly Roseland. Yes. Yeah. So.
And Travis Gibb.
And Travis, yeah. So,
wait, I didn't know that. I didn't know the hardcover had bonus stories in it.
Yeah, so they were unlocked stretch goals during that campaign, and they each did a 4-page. Basically, it was a director's cut that I cut out. Basically, it was like, all right, I wanted to do this, but I didn't have time, so I was like, this is basically the synopsis of these 4 pages. Go.
No, it was super cool to be part of because it was sort of like being in a writer's room where Rob was the executive producer. So I had to kind of see his vision of what he wanted to happen. And you only had 4 pages. So you didn't have a lot of real estate to make it happen, but you had enough. And it was kind of fun to be like, okay, I've got to make his vision work in his story. And, this page exists. The 48 pages before me exists and the 52 pages after me exist. So it has to work. So it was a super fun experiment to be part of, and that's why I say the soft cover sucks.
Well, you're in the soft cover too.
Oh, I am. Oh, the soft cover is great. Get that too.
Get both.
You're just not in the singles. You're even in the digital.
Well, okay, get whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, we have the ultimate Lone Wolf comic.
No, get the hardcover because it's one of the very few hardcovers with a die cut. Which
that die cut
covers
absolutely extraordinary. I'll show the book real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's digital catch up for everything, and then we have the 60 colors. Woo!
Oh.
We got.
Is this your first not safe for work cover, or had you done it before?
Issue 6 was the first time, and then it did so well. The Wolfpack ate it up. I went back and filled it in for issues 1.
I hear that they're doing real well right now.
Yeah, I want to kind of applaud you for trying a sexy cover on Kickstarter because it's really taking your shot there.
The big risk.
You never know, because my audience started off without that. So it's like, do I scare people off, or are they still coming? It looks like they're still coming, which I'm very thankful for.
It's a legitimate question, but your book is sexy too. There's no hold bar.
Right, well, that's just it. Like this is like the standard cover for this issue, and yes, there's boobs, but they're usually covered, but they're still there. Speaking of 69, I mean, what? So you can get all of issue 1 through 7 at a catch-up tier for $69. This is all the standard issues, plus you get all the digitals, all the the physical rewards, digital rewards, all the fun stuff. Of course, we have the you can get both of Courtney Rose's gorgeous covers featuring herself December Lace and Ivanette. They are my 3 witches in this story for issue 7 because I had these witches that Carlos and I didn't really have a look for yet, and then like it just happened to be like in conversations with them. I was like, "Hey, you guys want to be my witches? All right, cool."
Nice.
But yeah, and then we have the variants. We have retailer tiers that you can catch up on the series, put in your shops. More variants galore. But yeah, and then we also have like the covers from last time that are left over from the campaign,
Those are cool.
hanging out.
Yeah, Shawnee says in the comics, we do like our sexy boob covers, and Courtney was a great choice. So.
Oh yeah, she's amazing, and like a great. If you ever get a chance to work with her, she's so pleasant to work with, and super excited too. So I mean, I definitely highly recommend her. Of course, we have the mystery box, that has all the mystery high ends, the mystery CGC. Then we have the Virgin variant catch up tier, and then these are all like the fill-in or the new nudie covers that we did this time around. Which I of course I like. So the first one was Lena Day. I had to go and do another one with her, and this
you
one.
You had Lena Dunham draw a comic? What?
Lena Day.
Oh.
Or is it D? I don't know. Is it D-A-I? I don't know. I think it's spelled or it's pronounced. You're asking the dyslexic guy to pronounce it. But yeah, I mean, this cover here that she did. Oh my god, I was like, wow.
Awesome. Let's. Why don't you pull the screen out and show the hardcover because I want to make sure and get to Will. It is a full moon. We want to get it before the witching hour. So, but pull that out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty book.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. And underneath it obviously is the wolf with the on the vellum paper with over top of the human. So it's kind of like that see-through a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Speaking of absolutely gorgeous hardcovers, Will, Crossover Division Volume 1 hardcover launched this week. So you've been talking about this hardcover for a long time. What went into doing this campaign as you pull? Do you want me to do the page, or are you going to do the page?
I got it. I got it.
You pull it up, and what went into picking your hardcover? And Blake, you're gonna be my wingman on the questions here. Especially, I'm going to go grab a drink. So Blake, it's you for 10 minutes.
Let's do it. Let's party.
So I completely ignored the advice. The really actually good advice of Kevin Joseph, so he's not hearing this right now. One of the things that I love about Kickstarter is that the individual issues are kind of more than just an issue that you're going to go buy off of the comic stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are one of the things I try to do is stretch goals for a higher quality paper, stretch goals for higher paper for the cover, gloss, anything to make it, kind of bigger and better than you get, just off of the typical comic shop or newsstand.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, if I'm making something that's shorter run, that I feel like is, maybe more collectible, that I want to make something that I want. And so I decided to go with an oversized hardcover.
Ooh. Which
means I'm not doing a trade paperback because the trade would be normal size, so I'm not going to be doing the split binding, which is what Kevin was saying was, you idiot! And I'm like, yeah, I am. That's me. But I really wanted to showcase, what we did on these issues because, Pablo's art is gorgeous. And then we brought Alice Leclerc in for issues 3 and 4. And her art is gorgeous as well. We've got Ryan Kroboth coloring that. And then being able to put all of those just amazing variant covers that we've had for the issues. The first issue had a Connor Hughes variant cover and a Stefan Roux variant cover.
Yeah, the Jen. Yeah, I like the the Vampire Wives, the Dracula
That
Wives,
was good too,
Jen
yeah.
St. Aug cover too. That was one of my favorites.
Absolutely. And then for issues 3, we had some guy named Ludovic. I think he may work with some hack writer I've heard about. I don't know.
I certainly like that artist.
Yeah, Ludo did a great cover for us. We had Tina Valentino and then Romina Morinelli, of Glarian, did a variant cover for us.
Good job, yeah. That was a good cover.
Yeah.
Did you get a Mog too? Did you get a Mog cover?
Yeah.
Issue 4.
Man, it's like I did research or something. It's like I just know you guys. I've just been here for a long ass time.
I've said it many times. My favorite, and we've got 2 of my favorite variant cover creators on. Nightwolf always has the best variant covers, crossover division, and either White Ash or Glarian, because Charlie Stigney always, and of course Pat Shand. But it's kind of cool to have 2 of the 4 that I look up to for those variant covers. Now, a lot of people do a lot of good work, but the excellence of those 4 creators with all of their covers, it's amazing. There's never a bad cover. There's always just every cover's awesome.
And I just copy things from, Rob and Charlie and Pat. So,
You gotta.
Nothing wrong with that. If you're gonna copy from them.
Yeah, like Mr. Six Figure Shand, like he's.
With 2 campaigns, I mean, come on.
Yeah. So that was kind of the driving force behind this hardcover. Is one, besides me being an idiot and not listening to Kevin, which we've established, right? I wanted to kind of set the tone because crossover division is scheduled to be 20 issues. I know what the last page looks like. I haven't written it yet, but I know what that last page looks like. So with that in mind, I want to make sure that I get this right, because the other volumes are going to be the same, right? We're going to do a hardcover for the next 5 through 8, and then a hardcover through 9 through 12, and until we get to issue 20. So it's important to me to really, because I want it up on my shelf, right?
Right.
I mean, that's but
it's the dream. It's the dream to have it on your own shelf, and all these other amazing people are helping you make it. That's a nice bonus. But really, we're all about putting a book on our own shelf, right? Or is that, or Will and I just incredible narcissists?
If I had more room right now.
Yeah, you have like 40 of your own books on your shelf, Rob. Anytime Rob does a show, like behind him, it's just
since the last time that I was on with you, like I have actually gotten a storage unit. So my throne is gone. It's just what's on the shelf right now.
Plushies take up a lot more room than comics too, so Rob's had to clear out some space.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I do have a storage unit now. Climate controlled, plenty of room.
Nice.
Nice.
You leveled up when you have to get a storage unit for your high production, all your leftover.
I visited Rob. He made me put
a whole house because my wife was like, "You need to get the shit out of here."
I just didn't like having to put a hazmat suit on to go into it, Rob. I'm not that. I love your 3D graphics of the hardcovers.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
And these
have Grant do something like that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So the whole team, I mentioned, Pablo Martinena is the artist for issues 1 and 2, and then Alice Leclerc is the artist for issues 3 and 4. And I think because it takes us so long to do every issue, that there may be kind of a, I think the plan going forward is to make sure that, Pablo can do as many issues as he can, and then Alice will also do issues so that, we're hopefully going to be on a bit more regular kind of TikTok of issues coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think last year we only got one Kickstarter out, but,
you're not doing 4 or 5, 6.
We can't all be Carissa.
Yeah, we can't all be Carissa. I mean, oh my God.
Carissa and Pat Shand are on their own level. The rest of us are just...
Yeah, it's nuts. I did one last year. You've done 4 in 5 months. That blows
6
my mind.
months?
I can't.
Oh wait, yeah. Well, sorry.
Oh wow. So besides Pablo and Alice on the issues, we have colorist Ryan Kroboth, who I have to shout out, his Sunmaker #3 funded
Heck
like
yeah.
an hour and a half ago. So bravo, Ryan. Good job, man.
So excited to get that.
Yeah, finally we can finish the series.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I haven't even read issue 2. I liked issue 1 so much. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till it's all here. So.
Yeah. 4 years later, is that what he said?
I mean, yeah, because it's because I started doing Kickstarters around the time that he was doing like issue 2.
Yeah, but he's also taken all this coloring work on like crossover division that has slowed down his Sunmakers. So.
And that full-time job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's got a crazy schedule.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we've got Ryan who's coloring, Alice's work. And then going forward, Ryan's actually going to be the colorist for the series. So
Good.
Pablo's doing the line art for #5 right now, and Ryan's already started flatting some of that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that comes out. But besides Ryan, we have Brant Fowler, and Brant is just awesome. He's our letterer and designer, and he also designs the Kickstarter page. And I don't know if you guys saw it. Let's see if I can get to it. I think it's going to be down here. Okay, look at the image right here for the early bird special. It's animated with a bird. I mean, come on.
That's awesome.
But Brant is awesome. He did our logo for us. He does the lettering on every issue, and he puts up with my crap. So that's pretty awesome too.
Brent's good at putting up with everybody's
How
crap.
much
He's
of your
super...
Kickstarter goal is for paying for that?
The bird was 18,000.
No, for dealing with Will's bullshit.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I don't think I've got a bill for that yet, so I'm kind of worried about what that's going to cost me. But so I mean, the book is awesome, and it's also awesome because we have editor James Powell.
Nice.
James has done his own House of Fear stuff, but he's also a top-notch editor, and he makes me better, and he makes the book better. So it's having us as a team is great. I love working with everybody, and part of doing this hardcover is I want to show off all of our hard work, because I want this to be something that you really want to put on your shelf, right? I mean, look at that wraparound cover that Pablo did for us. I mean,
that is awesome.
That's awesome. And yes, this is all the pages of the 4 issues right here. If you get out your magnifying glass,
you can save a lot of money.
You can read the stories for free. Good job. So, on here we've got some preview pages from each of the issues. I really like Rob's idea that we're totally not going to steal. We're going to model his success.
I don't know. Evan has a better way of doing it.
Oh.
His last campaign had like this book that flipped back and forth. And
There's a reason I didn't do that in this one. That I started doing it. I'm like, I remember why this is such a pain in the ass, but I'll figure it out.
I mean, it took you forever, but that was a gorgeous effect, man.
So here we've got some of Alice's art. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Crossover is all about reader getting so engrossed in a story, and it brings the fictional story into our reality. I know some of these stories, you kind of want the reader to be a little unsure of what you're crossing over in, but we saw the tripod from the War of the Worlds. What are some of the crossovers that somebody is going to hit in this volume that don't mess up your storytelling?
So with issue 2, obviously we have the Brides of Dracula on, the front cover. So you kind of know what you're going to do with that.
I gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. With issues 3 and 4, we wanted to kind of show that, they have to try to figure it out. And we wanted to show what happens when they get it wrong. and that led into the 3 and 4 is actually a 2-part story, which shows what happened when they don't actually get it wrong. Their kind of hero agents come in and get it wrong, and these guys kind of have to prove themselves. Hank and Hector have to prove themselves to kind of show that they're actually worthy to be agents and can save the day. But speaking of issue 4, I had a blast because I wrote this page for Alice. You see Hector here. He's drawing on a whiteboard, right? And he's really focused. He's like really, really drawing. And here's what he drew. Which is awesome for a lot of reasons, because it's a recap of last issue. There's the things that all happen. And I can't take credit for this. I wish I could, because I think it's brilliant. But Alice drew Hector drawing himself with muscles.
Yeah.
So you can see he drew himself with muscles there. And I wish I could take credit for that, but that's all Alice. So, I mean, and you can see all the great lettering here. I mean, Brant is just awesome.
It's great lettering. I would like to. Awesome.
He's not on the show. You don't have to say it, Blake.
But actually, right here is kind of fun. I wrote bad iambic pentameter, right? Because this is actually, they think it's a Shakespearean play. So I actually lifted one of these directly from the play, and then I wrote my own iambic pentameter, and I ran it through my wife, and she couldn't tell the difference. So I'm like, yes, I'm as good as Shakespeare.
Yeah, oh, yes, absolutely.
But I mean, it's a lot of fun because it lets me play with tropes and genres and classic stories that have really kind of seeped into everybody's consciousness. That even if they haven't read the original Dracula, they know about Dracula. If they haven't read Frankenstein or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, these things have seeped into our culture, and we just kind of have a cultural awareness of them. And being able to play with those stories, showing why they were so important, and where maybe that they fell a little short, because I mean I critique Dracula a little bit because of the way it treats women. It's a Victorian novel, and the Victorians are kind of notorious for their misogyny, right? So it is a lot of fun to play with these toys that are kind of cultural bequest, right? That we have, that we can use and reuse and talk about. It's a lot of fun.
Recontextualize, and
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's fun. It's kind of neat. You're talking about, you've got Shakespearean stuff, and here Carissa had Romeo and Juliet and Hal. To be able to take all of these stories that kind of flitter around all of our consciousness and retell them, or have them seep into the stories that we're telling, it's a blast, and it's go public domain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's one of the things I always loved about Will's book, is just, I mean, as like, I don't have a PhD, but as I had my BA in creative writing and was in an MFA program for a little bit, but like I studied so much literature, and it's funny that for a while, and in my MFA program there were some teachers who were like, hey, like, you need to be reading less pulp and more real literature. And then I had other professors like say one of the best things ever to me was, don't ever let anybody tell you what is or is not real literature. That's for you to decide, and that's for everybody to decide, basically.
Right.
But I love that exercise of like taking these iconic pieces of literature, putting them in a meta narrative comic book, and being able to like dissect it and think about it differently, both from Will's point as the creator and writer and script writer, and that as the audience gets to do it too, like thinking about these characters in different ways and what these stories mean to people in different ways. I don't know. That's one of the smarter comic books I've read in my time of doing what I do, right? And it's just always loved it. And it doesn't make you feel stupid either. If you're unfamiliar with the literature, you know, you still fit right in. The characters are still fun.
Yeah.
There's great action, and so just like, but to balance that and with pacing and structure and dialogue and everything else that you got to deal with, right? To like effortlessly weave that, or it seems effortlessly. You probably like sweat and cried over it and threatened to quit, you know. But yeah, I just one of the coolest things about this comic is just how you bring in literature and celebrate it, and I've always dug that.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And that's my fetal position corner right over there.
After we stopped recording, you know, we asked everybody if they wanted to stay around and just have a cry session, and we kind of like this. The live show is the positive, and once we're done, we can all lament
The
our
cameras
failures.
go off, shit gets real.
That's why you keep it up so late. That way, like everybody's sleep deprived and just all stressed out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm super excited, and you had a great first week.
Yeah.
If someone was going to get the hardcover, could they get the original floppies? And could somebody just get the original floppies instead of the hardcover in this campaign?
Absolutely. We've got a print catch-up tier, and then we've got the hardcover. We've also got just the first issue as a tier itself. And then if you buy, if you pledge for any of the physical tiers, you're always going to get the digital with that tier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Brant was about ready to murder me because of all of the add-ons. I've got every issue, every variant.
Oh, wow.
So they're all there, and it's
these guys that love Microsoft Excel. They can get cocky with the add-ons. I put like 4 in, and I was like, "Ooh, this feels like a lot."
I think I had 36. I think I had 36. Yeah, I had like 36, and I just added 2 more on, so maybe it's more. So
I tell everybody if it's not in my add-on section, it'll be available in backer kit because
your backer kit had a ton.
Yeah.
I am not putting all like 50 stump covers in that add-on section. No, thank you.
See, if I ever do one of these, I'm gonna have 3. I'm gonna have digital, cover A, cover B. That's it. We're done. That's all we're doing.
That's strategy.
Okay, Blake, if you ever do this, we're gonna have a meeting before. We're gonna talk about some ways to get you closer to that 8 to 10 that Kickstarter thinks is a good idea.
Exactly. 8 to 10 or 50, whatever works.
Yeah.
Right?
They always say they say 8 to 10, and I've got like 17, and I've barely started. I'm like, oh crap! What are we doing here?
Oh, they really do recommend like 8 to 10 add-ons per campaign.
Yeah, you want to give people a lot of options to
but not 36.
Support you in a way that is right for them.
Oh.
I will say my first 5 campaigns, I did a retail standard cover and then a deluxe foil printed wraparound, and everyone was happy, and it was successful, and it was so damn easy to fulfill.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. No, it all comes down to you want someone to be able to support you and get into your story for a very low dollar amount, and you want them to be able to support you and get into your story for an average dollar amount, and you up and up and up, because look, I have an average Kickstarter pledge that I'm comfortable with. Everybody on the screen has one as well. One of us might be $5, one of us might be $15, one of us might be $50, and one of us might be $200. You want to make sure that everybody can find their average comfortable pledge on your page.
Okay.
And no pressure. You don't want to make the person who's used to paying $15 feel bad for not backing at $200.
Yeah.
But you certainly don't want the person who's super comfortable backing at $200 to only be able to back you at $15. Now, that foil cover that Evan talked about was probably $30, $40, $50. So he gave that to the people too. And I'm not saying it's not smart to make your first campaigns easy to fulfill, but you want You want to give people the chance to support you at a level that they are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And you also want to have hey, buy something that has this much crap in it.
I had someone just buy mine that was she spent $600. So
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
I thought it was an error in Kickstarter. I kept refreshing it. Like, what the hell? Like, how is it up $600?
That's like the Monopoly banker era in your favorite. $10.
But yeah, one of the things I wanted to do, because I, for my Virgin variants, I've only done 10 of each cover
Thank you.
for all of, 1 through 4, and I wanted to, a really limited number of sets. You can get all the variants. I mean, and that's all of them.
Yeah.
In fact,
yeah.
I think once if these go, it'll leave me with 1 or 2 copies of some of these variants.
You need to try to keep 2 because you have 2 sons. You really got to try to keep 2 if you can.
I'll try to keep 2. I'll see what I can do.
And if they sell, they sell. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry, kids. Your dad is, not great. He sucks, but whatever. And, one of the cool things, I actually had a lot of fun with this. A visitor's pass. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I've got them. Hang on, I've got them right here, actually. Let's see, where are they?
While you're looking, can Carissa play her video?
Sure. I got them. I just think these are really, really cool. So, you can see here.
Well, why don't you pull off your page, because then you'll be bigger.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, sorry, they got glare on them. They're just little, and I've got the
lanyards.
The lanyards for them, and I just slap them on there, slap them in the box, and then you've got a.
Oh, they come with a lanyard too. It's not just the badge.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's nice.
But yeah, it's lots of fun. Brant designed these, of course, because Brant's awesome, right? And we did one. We had somebody, be the Dreamer, which was in I think issue 2, and no, we had somebody be the Dreamer in 1. We had somebody be a crossover division in an agent in number 2, and we actually made them an agent badge. It had their art from the issue of them.
Oh, cool.
On the badge.
Super
and,
one
had
of
their
a
badge
kind.
number.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Which was I thought a lot of fun. So yeah.
No, I'm excited, man. Congratulations. And we're all like every project we have tonight and that we talked about, super cool. But it's 12:27 my time, so I'm getting tired. And
actually,
so
one last thing.
Yeah. It was like, not yet, sir.
Not yet.
He is the co-host. He gets to veto. So go for it.
Rob and you and I are actually participating in a bonus print.
Oh, cool.
So the print is.
Yeah, I got it on my page. I can show
Oh yeah, if you can share that, Rob.
Yeah, the Comics Happy Hour print. So, and I know that Rob's emailed about it. You've emailed about it. I haven't sent one out to my backers yet, but
why not? You've been launched for like 2 days. Come on, man.
Way to go, Will.
I know. I'm a slacker. But this print, we have a group of creators that Kevin and Rob and Clay and Charlie and Ryan and John and
a bunch of real a-holes.
Yeah, and Brant.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we have all of the characters from our books in there with a bonus character from another member who isn't launching currently or who hasn't launched.
So basically, a lot of times we'll do like Rob and I and Will and I have done a crossover print with, Nightwolf. Tart was on Nightwolf's shoulders.
Which I thought was hilarious that they're clinking their glasses.
Yeah. Cool. So at that campaign, if you backed both of our campaigns, you got a print, and the same with crossover. But we had like eight or nine people we knew that were launching within 9 weeks of each other. So we all overlapped basically in some way or the other. So we did. Mick Byers is the superhero. Nick Byers.
Don't tell him that.
Nick is the superhero.
Don't ever let him hear that. He'll
It's
run with it.
It's 12:30. He's not listening now. But no, Mick, he was a superhero. Ryan is a hero because he colored it. Mick is the superhero.
His Photoshop crash. He had to color it again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he did it twice.
Okay, maybe he's a superhero. But we knew we were all doing it at the same time, and instead of crowding the page with a haunting and a like father like daughter crossover, a Nightwolf and a like father like daughter, and In the Land of the Dragon and a crossover edition, and you get all of the permutations it could be. We decided, hey, let's do one print, but nobody is going to ask anyone to back 8 campaigns to get a free print. We're not that jerky. We're jerky, but not that jerky.
However, if you do, you're going to get a very special version of the print.
We're not there. As long as you back 4 of the 8, your golden will get you a print. And Rob is actually delivering the print. So I recommend more than anything backing Rob's Nightwolf campaign to get a physical reward, and then backing at least 3 more of the 8 because you'll get the physical print. But as Will said, a little too early. If you do all 8, we're going to do something super cool, like maybe a metal print or a giclée print or something super cool. Now, if you've missed like Father, like Daughter, and Sunmaker, and Haunting, I really recommend you backing Tart, Crossover Division, Nightwolf, and Camilla Unbound, because I think those are the 4 that are alive.
Yeah, we're the ones that are still left.
So, kids, remember this. If you do a super long Crossover Division print, I give you a little thing. Be one of
things crossing over. Why not?
Yeah. Be one of the last campaigns, because then when people freak out to get the print, you've got to be one of the ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I'd love for you to get the print, but also I just love all of these, all these books. So
yeah, there's a lot of good books.
Even if you don't back Tart, I want you to back at least 4 of these and get the print.
And it's really a fun concept too. It just came out. Cool.
By the way, this is the thing. Shawnee says, "Will, don't steal Kevin's thunder."
I want to know how
Shawnee
I
said it.
Hour. What's do I gotta like kill somebody, or what's the move here?
I didn't hear the first part, but no, you do not have to kill someone. What was the first part?
Get into the happy hour club.
You might have to kill somebody, actually. This might be a a Hellfire Club thing where someone has to go down. And, so yeah, if you bump me off, you can take my place, sure.
Well, I mean, honestly,
basically, we have way too many straight white guys, so you probably got a really tough job getting in. We really need some non-straight white guys in there. So,
well, and it kind of grew out of the pandemic, because I know I was struggling, and
I was struggling
Kevin and I
mightily. Yeah,
we were chatting, and like, why don't we just get together and we'll just shoot the shit basically and talk. And it kind of started turning into something that we were doing pretty regularly during the pandemic, and it kind of grew and has been something that really helped me during the pandemic.
It's just an informal back channel of like-minded people. And what I would say is grab an informal back channel of like-minded people, no matter who they are. It's not special because if it's us, it's special because it's creators. So, you and Eric could grab 8 people that are trying to do this and create your own happy hour. Yeah, we call it happy hour just because we're idiots, but it's just, it's literally just, hey, I tried this and it worked, or I tried this and it failed miserably.
Or
Type of a
just having a
thing.
bad day in life, man. It's like nice.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
able to vent, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and we celebrate each other's wins,
Yeah.
and we're there for when we have some losses.
it's sharing each other's art. That's a big thing too. We get to see each other's stuff.
Yeah. No, I really recommend everybody getting 5 to 15 people that are kind of on your wavelength, on your, you've got your tribe. Just get them together in a way that you can talk to each other and be honest about your failures, and you're able to share your successes with people who aren't going to think you're being smug about it, because like you need to be able to say, hey, this worked, and have people that are happy for you.
Yeah.
When you build whatever this is, and I've got like Blake's in the Discord that I run, where we kind of just share wins and losses, and are honest about what's working and what's not working. So I think we could maybe give you an invite to the happy hour, but I don't think you need it. I think you can build your own and get everything out of it, because me and Rob are goddamn idiots. But we're fun idiots.
I think you're all fun.
And we're just coasting on Kat and Phil's coattails. Yeah.
And that guy.
That guy Charlie, yeah.
So the crossover print's fun. I think kind of Blake, we're going to get to your PR stuff, but I think you really talked about it. I'm a couple whiskeys in. I want to say I'm proud of you, man.
Well, thank you.
Really proud of you.
I thank you. I appreciate
You've taken this situation and you're building something a brick at a time. And I will say that you created a press release for me for the Start campaign. I could not be happier with what you created for us. You put it out to your list. I saw the number of people that read it, the number of people that clicked on the campaign, the number of people that backed. Super happy about it. I really proud of you, because not everything is, when you're starting something, there's going to be a lot of work, and a lot of work that you don't feel. You're crashing on the wall. You're crashing on the wall. You're crashing on the wall. Where the first 2,000 times you're hitting the wall, nothing happens, and all of a sudden there's a crack.
Yeah. And
then a bigger crack, and the wall falls. And I'm just proud of you for starting beating on that wall.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun. I mean, I never really thought that. I love doing this. I love talking, and I love hyping books, and I love talking to creators. And it was funny how I kind of realized a lot of this is PR and publicity, and oh, that's actually a lucrative business. And then like I said, I got in a bad place, and I had to leave a job for my mental health, and I luckily had a family that was real supportive of that decision. And since doing that, I've been able to work more on me and on some of this other stuff too. But yeah, I'm really excited, and the job with Invaders is off to a good start. They said the same thing. I just wrote a press release for them, and it went out today for their new campaign. And so I've helped and edited press releases before, but this week I wrote 3 press releases, and they all went out. They all got a couple hundred readers, and okay, let's fucking party. And so
Right.
and then just I have a nice sized platform, and it's continuously growing, and I love the indie community. So let me you know, you help me, my platform helps you, we all help each other, we get to nerd out. I don't live in a cardboard box on the side of the road, you know, maybe hopefully one day I can start buying whiskey and omnibuses again, you know, but I don't, you know, like I said, I really
thought you were going to say, hopefully one day you're going to live in that cardboard box.
Yeah.
If that's the goal,
we
I'm
make,
like, hey,
we make that box a home, baby. It's like,
but you know, like
I got plenty of boxes.
Yeah. Part of it is though, you started all of this. Blake's Buzz started what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
And you didn't have any thought of this. You just loved it.
Yeah.
And that's what's so organic and real about you doing this is that you didn't start it to make money. You started for love of talking about comics.
Yeah.
And you built this platform, and now you're allowing Evan to share in that platform, and we can share a little bit of revenue. And I can be very honest, it's a tiny amount of revenue from my end, and you don't get it till I get my Kickstarter money, because I got no money to give you until I get that. But I'm gonna be super, super happy to send that to you, because you build a platform just out of pure love of comics and indie comics. And I'm really happy to be part of the start of your journey.
Well, I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate you, like, you know, same with Evan. Like, you know, you guys took a risk on me. I don't like, Evan was talking about working with me, you know, before I had mentioned publicly that I was talking to a publisher. That got people reaching out to me. You know, like next month I'm going to start pre-campaigning for. I'm going like full PR on a new Kickstarter campaign. I'm really excited about. Like, I'm going to be writing the Kickstarter updates. I'm going to be doing press. I'm going to be doing like promo art and stuff. Like, yeah. So I'm like excited. I'm like, just don't mess it up, Blake. That's you're there. It's happening. Just don't shit the bed. And I don't think I will. I really don't. I'm so excited. And you know, people know that I know what a good book is. They know that I know what a good Kickstarter is. And I've backed enough Kickstarters, and I've worked with enough of you via interviews and stuff like that, just to know like kind of what needs to be done. I said that to Invader the other day. I was like, you know, when that 30 days starts, you know, it's not just a 30-day campaign. That's 30 days of content. You got to think about stuff every day. You got to do stuff, and you got to throw out that mentality of like, I see a lot of people apologize to their followers. Like, I got another Kickstarter. Sorry, that's all we're going to be talking about. No, like, that's your job. You do that. Your followers follow. Like, your friends, you support that. It's not annoying. You're making a dream come true. And so, like, you know, I've accumulated a lot of know-how and knowledge in this industry, and it's really exciting. And I feel really good about taking a different step in it. And also, like I said, like, I feel like especially once things get balanced, you know, once I, you know, realize, you know, what clients, you know, do what, because not everybody wants me to do everything. Some people want me to do a couple things, but like once I get comfortable, like how many clients I can have, what I'm doing, and also what I'm doing with Invader, and you know, like I'm still writing reviews. I still want to go live and nerd out with people. I still want to do Blake's Buzz. That's not going anywhere.
Right.
This is just something new, and it's, you know, like, yeah, I think I've found a way to monetize my situation without really like selling out, you know. And just like using what I've learned, you know, naturally over the years. And
hey, you know the band The Clash?
Yeah.
Mick Jones was asked what it felt like to be a sellout when they left their original records to, I think they went to CBS, but don't quote me on it. They said, what does it feel like to be a sellout? And he said, you know, I'm going to do a terrible English accent. He said, well, we have a concert and we sold out every ticket. That's a sellout. There's nothing wrong with selling out. Sell out every ticket, sell out every book, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to find readers. We're here to find people.
That's true.
But I'm tired of shit, guys. We're going to close this up. And we're gonna do it with another 30-second pitch in case somebody is on Facebook and Podcasters, they've been with us, and I love you guys for staying this long. But somebody might have come across this at the last second and not seen anything. I see a full moon out my door. Rob, why don't you start our 30-second pitches on Nightwolf?
Right on, yeah. Nightwolf. It's a story about a young man who finds out that he's born a werewolf, gets thrown into a supernatural war against demons, witches, vampires, other werewolves. If you are a big fan of werewolf, supernatural, vampire stories, go to lonewolfcomics.com/Nightwolf.
Nice. And Evan, take us home on Tux.
Yeah, Tox, post-apocalyptic comic about what it means to be human in a world that left humanity behind long ago. It's Children of Men meets Mad Max meets Last of Us. 2 issues kickstarting right now. We're 95% funded. You can check it out at toxcomic.com, TOXX comic.com.
Chris, I know you need like 2 seconds, so.
Romeo and Juliet in Hell. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Supernatural and Silent Hill in the Resident Evil world with the Evil Dead and zombie mermen going around. You can find us on Kickstarter really easy by searching Worthy Chaos. We are the only thing that pops up. And do go watch the video because the ending is an animated Anubis roaring. So it's definitely worth going to check that out. We funded in 6 hours, first stretch goal in 24 hours.
Nice.
And
you do everything quick.
we like skipped over the third. I didn't even get a chance to say this is the third stretch goal. It went over it, and I was like, "Whoops!" So we're like, I think I don't know, $90 away from the 4th stretch goal. So I didn't even think of a 5th one yet. I didn't think it would get this high.
Well,
so
I'm going to stop it real quick. You know what? If you do think of it, great, but don't struggle to do a stretch goal just to do a stretch goal, because that is where people have messed themselves up in the past.
Yep.
I have so much work for the next year. I'm good. I didn't know.
You got so many tchotchkes and things.
Well, you see, this is like the best hobby I've ever had. I mean, now it's like a career, but I mean, I started it and I buy merch because I want it, and then offering it to you, it's tax deductible. So this is the greatest like hobby I've ever done.
Stick it to the man, Carissa.
Yeah,
right off. Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm perfectly happy with going into debt and getting all my stuff. So
nice. And I am going to increase the degree of difficulty. Will, you and I do it every week. You do 30 seconds on Tart. Ha ha ha. You didn't see that coming.
Tart is a time-traveling demon hunter who wakes up at the beginning of every issue not knowing where she is geographically or in time, but knows that there's a demon there that she has to fight and take care of before she can leave.
It kind of reminds me of Quantum Leap.
Somebody has called it a supernatural quantum leap, and I am
I like it.
Cool
That's awesome. That was my favorite show. I'm game. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super cool with it. Crossover division is basically when a reader gets so engrossed in a work of fiction that they bring it into our reality with all of the chaos that would create. Why doesn't somebody just read like The Unbearable Lightness of Being and we just all have sex? No! They bring in War of the Worlds. They bring in Dracula. They bring in, flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. And we have a group called Crossover Division that is here to try to right the wrongs and send the crossover back to the book, and that is Hector and Hank, and you have a hardcover that you can back right now at the Crossover Division campaign. We did it. This show is in the books. I want to thank everyone who's in the comments, everyone who was on the panel, and I'm going to go to bed because my stupid brother decided to send somebody tomorrow at 8:30. This would be working on my house because I told him I want him to be here on Sunday, and he said I did it Saturday because he's going on a cruise like an asshole. I love you all. Good night.
Night, everybody.